My name is Emilia Kakiruvoga. I work in the area of communications, and today I was party to as provided a training around embracing digital technology, especially looking at communication skills in the digital era. And this was um, so basically the training was hosted by the female MP Waka MP, Honorable Agnes Kunihira, and also the Waka MP, Madam Honorable Margaret Wabusheja. And the theme of the workshop was embracing technology to advance women in the trade unionism. So basically, we are looking at how the unions, the labor movement, could embrace the area of technology and media and communication, leverage communication in the digital age to achieve its own goals, but then also to advance the goals of the gender movement. We know during the COVID-19, we had an opportunity to see that many members of the unions, the trade unions, fared a little bit better than those who were not members of the trade unions. And so we thought there's an opportunity for us to leverage the union or membership to the union to get more people both, subscribe, to do more advocacy, to get more members join the unions, whether in the informal or formal sector. And we also think there's an opportunity for the unions to use, and the labor movement to use digital technology for their activism, to enhance or to amplify the collective voice of members. But then it's also a good way to scale some of the ideas and impact that they have. So what has been lacking so far? The background is that many of our unions are not really embracing, the technology, are not, many of them do not have media or communication strategies in place. And there's an opportunity to leverage it, not only to amplify, to get more members, more Ugandans to subscribe, more workers to join the movement, but also to harness the benefits of being members of the cooperative, members of the trade unions. And so the idea is that today in the digital age, there's an opportunity for us to communicate, to reach scale, to reach our members who may be even physically distant from where we are. But there's also an opportunity to be able to cascade some of the ideas that we want under the female gender movement. For instance, ensuring women in the formal sector are catered for, ensuring that we reach our goals in terms of having a collective voice to advocate for the needs of women within the sector. So basically my role this morning was to take them through ways we can use communication to bridge the divide. And the divide, whether being distance or being able to communicate better to table our concerns to employers, to table our concerns to policymakers, and ways that they can leverage proper communication and framing to be able to achieve their goals. So just to highlight, one of the areas that was raised by many of the participants was the issue of costs, but then also the skills around being able to use digital technology or to leverage, the technology to be able to reach your advocacy or communication goals. But in one way to look at it would be to do a cost-benefit analysis. In our work as trade unionists, as members of trade unionists, one of the key areas we need is to focus on behavior change, right? So if you want to change people's behavior, you need to be able to reach them consistently and frequently with messages. We need more people to join the trade unions, to be with us on that agenda. As one of our colleagues pointed out, if they went to do marketing, to kind of get more people to subscribe to the 10 unions, there might be 30 women and 20 men, right? But by the end of the subscription, you find that maybe 15 men have signed up, but only 5 women have signed up. So that means we need to be able to reach female workers. We need to continually communicate with them to ensure that they see value in being able to join our unions. And this can only be done through technology. You can only, because it's low cost, while maybe the initial investment might require a bit of training, a bit of purchasing of software, but more and more as we move into the digital space, we've been able to see there are low cost interventions that can be leveraged using technology. Another is reach. How will you be able to reach a woman in Katakwi, but then also be able to reach a woman in Rubona? The one way you would do it is to be able to leverage the digital, whether it's, USSD codes that are cheaper, whether it's using, WhatsApp groups so it gives flexibility at lower cost And when you do, the cost of investment is much more outweighs the benefits of investing in technology. And scaling this idea, if we want to scale ideas, we want to scale impact, it comes through more cost effective for us to see how we can leverage digital technology and take it a case by case basis, pilot it in some areas, see what results we are having, and then incrementally scale it out to areas where people will not be able, where others would be able to benefit. So that is one way we are looking at when we come to the issue of cost, the cost implications when we say leveraging digital technology. Also, one of the key areas is around behavior change. If I'm a woman in a village setting in Amur, and maybe it's not necessarily, maybe I'm not familiar with the technology, but with a little training and skills upgrade, I might be able to embrace this. So behavior change will be at the back of us being able to leverage technology, getting people to buy into the idea, but then also helping them be able to leverage the technology, whether it's training them to be able to use it physically or getting their mindsets to, the assumptions that they make that perhaps the use of technology is a lot harder. So we are in a generation where we are living in a times where there are all kinds of generations, right? We have the millennials, our fathers, we have the baby boomers, we have the Gen X, we have the Gen Z. So the behavior that is required for us to get all of them to take up technology might differ. For someone who's in the millennia, technology comes easy, but for a baby boomer like our fathers, someone who's in their 60s or 70, there might be a bit of hesitancy. And for me, who's a Gen X, I might find it a lot easier, but I might need a bit of convincing to take up technology.
And many times when they are talking about the national issues, they talk about the woman in the village and they forget those who are workers. So because we are in a special group, that's why we try always to meet our people, to celebrate with them, but also to share ideas. This time we're talking about communication and empowerment. And you heard very well, I don't have to go through because I'm not the preacher, or the presenter, but we talk about empowerment. How can we make our people's lives better? Because if you are working, how can you manage to construct a small home, or let us say a business? Because we have seen people from scratch who now have businesses. How do you do? One of them is that you can bring the resources together. We call them pooling resources. And if this month I get and we are 10, and next time it will be another person, but it will be much. So those are some of the ideas that you can share. But also we can share a vision. If I'm working, how about Saturday and Sunday when they are weddings? And if we put the resources and we begin, I begin organizing weddings for functions over the weekend, you will be able to get something with the time. I've ever done it, at least I remember that it's a doable. So that's the way we can get extra money and be able to support our families. Women, let us support one another. If I support people and they get knowledge, the unions are many. How, if you have been here and you are for women, what is it that you can take to the women also to put them together and think of ideas that can empower others? Because empowerment is wide. But how about communication? When you are communicating, talking about the same thing, you can find solutions to them. But many times, even when we are on communication, say on WhatsApp, it's the women who keep quiet most. Why? I don't know.